Should you sell or should you hold? That's the $1,000,000 question. Hey everybody, Scott Walters. Buckle up, strap in. We got a hard hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows or sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing great. So who's ready to jump back on the real estate merry-go-round as we examine the good, the bad, and maybe a little bit of the ugly?
No, Scott, not the ugly. Only examine rainbows and sunshine.
No. Somebody's got to read between the lines and look between the economic cracks. We got some cracks to look through today. Should I sell or should I hold? Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my own journey, and I'm going to give you some real talk. As a boots on the ground, licensed real estate agent, loves real estate, owns real estate, take a hit in the next downturn. I'm just a little more insulated this time than the last 2008 crisis. And that one taught me some very important lessons. Important enough now, at this stage in my career and my life, I'm willing to turn on this camera and sacrifice a sale to spare some people from going through what I went through. And that's what I'm here to do for you, hopefully today. So welcome to the show. If you're new, get subscribed. We'd love to have you on board. So with that being said, I got a call recently from one of you, a subscriber, Vegas, and first-time home buyer, young couple, no kids, bought a nice house, newer, not brand new, but newer, in Vegas, and it's now basically upside down. And they're like, should I sell? Should I get out from this thing and sell? I can get out now and maybe take like a $30,000 hit. And I'm a little nervous because I see what you've been reporting now for a couple of years, that this bubble was not going to be able to sustain itself. And there's a lot of hot spots like Las Vegas that never had the foundation or fundamentals to support those types of run-ups. And that's been a lot of places all over America. Because of the crisis and a lot of the inward and outward migration, we saw a lot of demand placed on areas where locals, it just didn't support those levels of run-ups, where before usually appreciation was based on what locals could afford. But this was different. This was a lot of money, stimulus money, right? Flooding in, helicopter money, finding its way into different markets. And then agents are just so quick to be like, yeah, this is normal, this is great, our market's strong, and da-da-da. All these new agents pile in, of course, because it looks like the thing to do on Instagram and TikTok Reels. And it just became a big joke for me. And I was embarrassed to say it. And I've said this before, I'm a real estate agent. And I don't even like most of the real estate agents that I meet. I get it. And that's all. That was even before the crisis. Just I never liked these arrogant, showy agents. It's what attracted me to the business, because I was like, well, that looks like a great gig. What's the biggest purchase people make? I'm a long-time salesman. I've sold it all, right? I've sold it all. I've been through the gamut with sales jobs. So cars and homes, and I've done them both at a high level. And I absolutely love real estate. I love helping people with real estate. It's just such a joy, right? But during the crisis, it got a little weird. It was like an episode of The Twilight Zone, right? Something didn't pass the smell test. And I turned on this camera, even as an agent, warning you guys, just saying, hey, listen, I'm a boots on the ground agent. Something doesn't pass the smell test. This is exhibiting bubble behavior. Typically, when the market exhibits bubble behavior, they pop. It's just the facts. Look into it. The historical data shows you that. So we've done it before. We will do it again. The $1,000,000 question is, do you think what we just went through, this crisis and this stimulus era, could produce another crash? Clearly, it produced another bubble. And for a lot of times, I used to make agents. I would actually play with agents when I was out holding open houses or going into open houses. Talk to agents. So, what do you think? Is this a real estate bubble? No, not a real estate bubble. There's no bubble here. It's just normal. Okay, man, calm down. Jeez. Anger is fear turned outward. They knew, but they had preached so much. See, that's the thing. Even like lawyers, once you say something to clients, this is normal, great time to buy, interest rates are low, because at our sales trainings, that's what we're designed to do. Tell you all the things why you should buy, not why you shouldn't. And that's where Scott Walters comes in. Hey, and this brings us back to our Vegas caller. So do you think I should sell? And I said, well, what's your payment? It's X. Well, do you know what the property's rent range is? He says, yeah, it's Y. I said, well, your cost to carry is above its rent range. I'm not good. Why didn't you call me? That's not good. And, and that's fine if it's your forever home. And that was most people. Me in 2008, I did the same thing. This is my budget. I'm already spending this much money on housing. Go find me. This is my payment I'm willing to take on. But I didn't check the property's rent range. And when we got into the Great Recession and things started to dry up and the house went upside down, I couldn't rent it. Couldn't rent it for what it was worth. I had to dump the thing. Now, luckily, I didn't go into foreclosure. I was able to. It was tricky. I would not want to go through it again. I was able to do a short sale on that property. And it recovered from it quite nicely and done very well since. It was one house. And, it's not if you're going to make mistakes in life. It's when and how many, right? It's not if there's going to be a real estate bust in life. It's when and how many. So with our caller, he said, do you think I should just sell and get out of this thing? He's like, the thing is I got actually one room rented now. And so actually our cost carry is actually pretty easy. And my wife uses one of the rooms as her studio. And so we don't, to uproot her and her work, it would be a big hassle. I said, okay. Well, I'm like, if you've got a renter in there and now your payment is what you would be spending on rent anyway, then, if your house goes upside down, but your cost to carry the house is within its rent range, then your purchase price or what the house is worth is just on paper. It's not as important. Sure, it won't feel good knowing you can't sell your house for what you paid for it, but knowing that you can live in it as cheap as you could if you were to rent it, that's a good thing. So that's kind of my position that I've always pushed on the channel. If we're buying today, tomorrow, next week, next year, what we really want to look at, standard amount down at today's interest rate. What's our payment agent or mortgage calculator? What's our payment? Now let's check what this house would rent for. Because it's an insurance policy you pull for yourself. Because if something happens to you or the economy or your income, a renter goes in, it can stand on its own 2 feet, it can cash flow. So even if the house isn't worth what you paid, but it's producing a positive cash flow every month. Because my 2008 purchase, 2007 purchase, which I sold in 2011 maybe, or 12, eventually it climbed back out. It would have been worth more than I paid for it had I held on to it. The thing is I would have had to held on to it for almost 20 years as an upside down asset, and it would have required the lockdown, the crisis, a bubble, a manufactured bubble to bring it back out. That's what dug a lot of properties back out of their hole. If you hung on to them, it needed another crisis to do that, another real estate bubble. But it brought it back out. And I could have held on to that thing. The thing is that at that time, I just wasn't interested. The banks were just burning people left and right. So I called their bluff. I said, hey, man, come get your house. I'm leaving the keys under the mat. No, Mr. Walters, well, we're going to work. Yeah, I see what's going on. They were selling off loans like it was the thing to do, telling people they're going to help them stay in their houses, and they weren't. People were getting burned. So should you sell or should you not sell? That's the $1 million question. If you have an opportunity to get out now and you see the writing on the wall and you can get out maybe for, with minimal losses or break even, might not be a bad time. If not, make sure your payment is within the property's rent range. That is the best thing you can do. In fact, our caller said, I'm thinking about putting like $100,000, buying down this loan, like with another $100,000, and that would put the payment well within its rent range. What do you think of that? I said, I think it's a great idea. If you're going to hang on to that house, pay it down further and make sure you can rent it out for positive cash flow. Because they're like, we don't love Vegas is the thing. We don't see ourselves staying here forever. So, they're in a tricky situation because if they love the house, pay it down, get it within its rent range, live in the house, enjoy the house. Maybe eventually turn it into a rental, go buy another house. That's how you get rich in real estate, not by owning your house, by owning other people's houses. Be willing to sacrifice now, right off into the sunset later, willing to live in a cracker box temporarily and stack up income properties. Affordable homes will always be in demand. It's the luxury homes that are going to take the biggest hit. Affordable homes will be able to stand on their own 2 feet if they were purchased correctly. And final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a real estate guy who wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. They're shark infested. U.S. housing market, welcome to the swimming pool. Over 10 million people bought at the height of the biggest bubble ever recorded in world history. If those houses all go upside down, we will be in another foreclosure crisis. It'll take a while for this thing to play out. There will be a lot of government intervention and bailouts. It'll be propped up. Unfortunately, I've seen this movie before. They did this in the 2008 financial crisis and Great Recession. It didn't work then. I doubt it'll work now. Real estate boom bust cycles have always happened throughout recorded history. That's why I'll be here to protect you every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation. It would be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, you're going to love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. God bless. I'll see you on the next video.